Scaling your law firm doesn't have to be difficult. It's all about mastering a few key strategies, systems, and mindsets. Welcome to the Scalable Law Podcast, where we talk about how you can increase profit in your pocket and time in your calendar. My name is Carolee Fontanelli, and I have successfully scaled my firm so that it doesn't solely rely on me. Now I love teaching other law firm owners how to do the same. Let's transform your business starting now. Welcome to another episode of the Scalable Law Podcast. I am your host, Carolee Fontanelli, and it's great to be back with you. I must admit, I have been a little slack on the podcast recording. The year is just going so quickly that, each week just keeps disappearing on me, and I realize I haven't done a podcast again. So I'm back in it, back onto it, because there has been so much happening out there. I spent some time in April in South Africa. I went over there for a EO conference. So EO is Entrepreneurs Organisation. It's a business group that I am part of, and I'm on the board of EO Queensland. So all the board members from all over the world gathered. There were about 1,500 of us, and we attended this amazing leadership conference, which was awesome. I absolutely loved it. Cape Town is so beautiful. If you haven't been there, it is a must place to visit. The wineries around the region are stunning. If you were following me on Instagram, you will have seen that I went to all kinds of amazing wineries and had the most beautiful food, and it's so cheap. Like whatever you pay here for the quality that we have, like incredible quality, you pay at least half there or less. It's just gorgeous. And then I went to the conference. I also then went on a safari tour. They called it a Ferrari safari because it was only 3 days. But I went with 17 other EO board members from around the world. They were all new people. I had never met them before. One owned a law firm from Chicago. He employed 50 staff in immigration. Very interesting to meet him and have a talk with him about the legal landscape in America and Chicago. And then I also met all sorts of other interesting business owners, such as a lady who owned a brewery, another chap that owned an advertising agency where he creates ads for people like Apple, Facebook, and the Super Bowl. So that was awesome as well. We had an amazing time going on safari and driving along the garden route, which was beautiful. So at this conference, the thing that kept coming up again and again, apart from the leadership type of work that we did, was actually talking about AI. Now, I know that we've all been talking about AI for a long time now, but it's not really until, for example, like we've got chat bots and things like that we can see in action. But for me personally, I haven't really grasped it as like, okay, I can see where this is heading until we've had the introduction of Chat GPT, which has been a much more recent thing. So if you have not yet heard of Chat GPT, it's a great idea to pop it into your Google and have a look at it. What it is it's an automated or artificial intelligence where you can ask it questions or ask it to write you information and it spits it out in like 2 seconds flat. I'm not kidding. It is so crazy. So this has been unfolding in the last few months, and we're seeing how potentially this is going to affect law firms or how law firms can use it. It's most certainly something that my kids are talking about who are at uni. And also I've got one who's only 12 years old, but she's also talking about Chat GPT and how it's affecting schools and, how they are trying to overcome that, anyone could use Chat GPT, and instead of writing their own essay, for example, they could write that using Chat GPT. So there's a lot of change in the world when it comes to AI like this. So at this conference, AI was a big topic, and not specifically Chat GPT, but also we had a lady on stage, a lady bot, you could call her, on stage, called Sophie. Now, she has got, I don't know, like hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers, and she is a robot. And so she came out on stage. She had very realistic facial expressions, and she also had very a realistic way of answering questions like a human would, which was just amazing. And she talked about the fact that she was a robot and she's created by man and she's not perfect and the technology is not perfect yet. But it was super, super interesting. So it really got me thinking about, how we are using Chat GPT in law firms, how we can use Chat GPT in law firms, and how, law firms are going to be able to leverage artificial intelligence to really improve their practices. And specifically today, I wanted to talk about Chat GPT. So what it is it's a language model that can help law firms in a variety of ways. And I'd love to explore this topic because it is something that is not going away, and it's just going to get more and more traction, and become more part of the way that we run our practices. So let's talk about what Chat GPT actually is. So it is an AI language model developed by OpenAI. It's trained on a massive amount of text data, and it can generate human-like responses to prompts in natural language. So it's actually really amazing how when you ask it a question, so I've asked it for all kinds of things, not only work-related, but also personally related. And it is incredible what it spits out. Like, it is amazing. So Chat GPT can be really useful to law firms in lots of different ways, such as automating routine tasks, improving efficiencies, and providing really valuable insights. And as you know, running a law firm, I'm all about working smarter and not harder. So how can Chat GPT really help us work smarter and not harder? Now, one of the things that I have not explored is using Chat GPT for document automation, such as, say, creating a document like a consent order. I haven't tested that theory out or seen if it can do it, but apparently it is capable of automating documents, and it can save law firms a lot of time. So, for example, lawyers can use ChatGPT to generate standard legal documents such as contracts, agreements, and correspondence. And it can also be used for legal research, where it can help lawyers find relevant case law and statutes really quickly and efficiently. And additionally, it can be used for chatbots that can provide quick answers to frequently asked questions. So, for example, having a chatbot in the front end of your website, and then it's somehow being zapped or zapped into ChatGPT, so that you can then use it to generate answers for people as they type questions into your website. So it sounds really, really amazing. So how does ChatGPT generate responses like that? Well, it uses a deep learning technique called transformer architecture. It's trained on a massive amount of text data, and it learns to predict the next word in a sentence based on previous words. So this is how it can generate human-like responses to prompts in really natural language. Now, you might be asking, how accurate is ChatGPT? Well, it's actually very, very accurate. It's not perfect though, but it's important to note that ChatGPT is only as good as the data that it's trained on. And as you know, for a lot of the legal work and legal documents that we use, you won't be able to find them online easily. So I don't think that ChatGPT will be great for that, not in these early days anyway. But interestingly, I did think that I would give ChatGPT a go when it came to drafting a binding financial agreement for family law in Australia. And what it said was, we don't offer legal documents or advice, and to please consult a lawyer. So it was actually really good advice. So it's not at this stage, taking over from what we offer or enabling people to sort of cheat their way through a legal process, I guess you could call it, or DIY their own legal process, or practitioners, for example, who need that kind of help because they're not across certain areas or whatever it might be. You're not able to use Chat GPT for that. So it's not going to be useful in the early days for that. But as you can imagine, as time goes on and it becomes more and more sophisticated, it might actually, be able to more so provide that kind of technology or, data/documents in the background. I also tried it out to see how it went drafting a letter to a client, where I basically gave it a clue or asked it to write a correspondence to a wife on the other side for the purposes of arranging time for the other parent to have time with the children. It did do a decent job of that. However, again, you'd only use that if you needed a prompter. I mean, we've all got precedents and we, often can whip those things up pretty quickly ourselves anyway. But it really does work very, very fast. So it is quite amazing. It has compassion in the writing as well. So it says, we understand this may be a difficult transition for all involved. I mean, I probably wouldn't write that as a lawyer, but we believe by working together, and putting the children's needs first, we can create a positive and healthy environment for them to thrive in. So it kind of, does have that kind of touchy-feely vibe to it, which is super interesting. Another way that I have heard, but I haven't tried it myself yet, but I've heard people using Chat GPT to actually take minutes of a meeting. This could be an absolute time saver and really streamline things for you. At the moment, we get one of our staff members to do that, but if Chat GPT could do that, then it would be super, super easy and straightforward and save a lot of time in your business, which would be really helpful. The other way, of course, is to use it for more, rather than, generating legal documents or contracts or letters, which I really don't believe it's going to be great for that initially, would be to use it for things like blog articles, creating content for social media. And even if you're just using it as a base, it's going to save you a whole lot of time. I have tried it out on a family law blog article. It was absolutely accurate, which blew my mind. If I gave the same question, can you write this blog article to one of my junior lawyers, there is no way it would be as good as it was on Chat GPT. So, and of course it's, saves time. You can also ask it to specifically use certain keywords so that you are helping with your SEO. So, for example, if you're wanting to get your website up to a certain level in Google, you can ask it to use certain keywords, and it will do that keyword research for you, is my understanding, if you have a subscription, a paid subscription for the Chat GPT. So it is really, really interesting and great for that. It makes hiring, say, your VAs in the, overseas a lot easier, because they're going to be able to use that and present to you really great articles that are SEO friendly, which is awesome, because again, sometimes you get people to write you articles or you write articles yourself, and they don't serve the purpose of helping you with your SEO and helping your website to really be up there in Google. You could also ask the Chat GPT to write, say, an article about your law firm, pages for your website, specifically different areas of law that you practice in, using keywords. So that would be a really useful tool as well. You could also ask it to write something like a kind debt recovery letter or a firm debt recovery letter, things like that are in your law firm that aren't sort of dependent on the law, and it's more of the administration side of your business. So marketing, email marketing, social media marketing, those types of things, very, very, very helpful. It will really revolutionize the way that I would say people are engaging with ad agencies, social media agencies, or marketing agencies, because it makes the role so easy to implement, because a lot of that content can be written really, really quickly, and that's going to save time, reduce costs, and allow law firm owners to free up their time when it comes to that sort of thing. So that's where I really see its main uses at the moment for those sort of admin tasks. So think about all the content, low-end tasks that you are doing in your law firm, and how could Chat GPT be helping you or helping a team member. So for example, you could get your receptionist to get it to write an article for you, and then you could get them to rejig it so that it really suits your law firm, cutting the time down so much. Also, what I think it's really great for is prompting ideas. So maybe not using the direct content that you get off ChatGPT, but to actually use it as a foundation or a base or a structure, and then to be able to copy and paste it out and make changes so that it's really is your article and not written by GPT. So that's the sort of way that I would see it being used a lot in a law firm, reducing time, improving efficiencies, and that sort of thing. So it is very interesting as to what's going to happen in the law space with AI and programs like Chat GPT. I'd love to hear how you're using Chat GPT. If you're finding it useful in your firm, what you think about it, if you think that it's not helpful, what you think of the plagiarism aspect of it. My understanding is that if you have a higher subscription, also a paid subscription rather than free, it does a lot more, and it creates, it ensures that it's not copying anything, so that you have original work, not any work that might be elsewhere, which is really, really important when you're doing your SEO particularly. You don't want to have any duplicated content off any other websites on your website, because one, that's plagiarism, and two, it doesn't help with your SEO. It can be difficult, and you really do want to use it responsibly and ethically, and make sure that you address any potential ethical or legal concerns that may arise when you're using Chat GPT. But definitely worth playing around with, definitely worth investigating and looking at it and keeping an open mind. It's really interesting. I'm delivering a workshop or webinar for Clio next week, and we're talking about legal technology, and we're talking about legal trends. And I've done a whole lot of research around it. And one of the legal trends is that young people, millennials, coming through as associates, are not staying in their business, in their employment very long. They're moving on quickly, and they're particularly moving on if the technology is old and the technology isn't there in firms. So, we need as employers to really be embracing tech, not veering away from it, and really sort of seeing what these things can offer, so that we can move our law firms forward in a really positive and innovative way. So that's all I have for you today on today's episode of Scalable Law. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you again next time. If you would love to know more about Scalable Law and how we can help you, I love helping law firm owners to scale their businesses. I love helping them make more profit, and I love helping them reduce their time in the firm so that they can have more of a life and enjoy themselves a lot more, which is the whole reason you started your law firm in the first place, right? I have 2 programs running, one for law firm owners where you are between a startup and you have between a team of 4 and 5. And then I've got another program, and the new accelerator program, which is for firms that have team members 5 plus. where there's a whole new range of problems that you need to address. So if you're interested in either the Scalable Business Lounge, which is more around marketing, getting money through the door, all of that kind of thing, or if you're interested in Accelerator, which is more about systemizing your firm so that you can step out of it, then please contact me. I would love to have a chat with you, either just through email or the website, or you can contact me on Instagram or LinkedIn. Great to be here today. I hope that you're having a great week, and we will chat again soon. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Scalable Law Podcast, brought to you by the Scalable Business Lounge. If you would love to know how you can get more clients without relying on referrals, head over to scalablelaw.com to watch my free masterclass. Until next time, you have got this.